welcome to Mondays with Maria Gould. Today is episode 23. It is June the 9th, 2025, and thank you so much for joining us on today's podcast. I would like to speak about the power of positive thinking. Now, if you've ever kind of read some of the self-help books of the time, there's a great book with this name, The Power of Positive Thinking, written by Norman Vincent Peale, written back in 1952. Now, positive thinking has been sort of a buzzword for a long time. But how do we do this? How do we start to make these changes so that we can actually have what many people that live a happy life say is the key to their happiness? They learned how to have a positive mindset. So coming from, if you've ever listened to any of my previous podcasts where I spoke about my history of depression and suicidal thought, if you are in that boat where you feel like, how can I possibly have positive thinking? It is possible. I'm a testament to this. You can learn to change your thoughts. You have choice in your thoughts and in your feelings. So I'm going to speak about this a little bit today. So I was watching in researching this podcast, I was watching a few inspirational speakers, and I came across Tony Robbins, a very, very famous self-help motivational speaker. You might have heard about him. And he spoke about the time that he met the author of The Power of Positive Thinking, Norman Vincent Peale. And this was when Tony was basically just getting started with his career as a motivational speaker and helping people change their lives. And Norman was a 92-year-old man and still doing seminars. And Tony Robbins walks up to him and starts speaking to him and asks him, wow, you're an inspiration, Norman. I'm just starting out and I really look up to how inspirational you are. And he asked Norman, why are you still doing seminars at 92? And Norman's very candid reaction was, there are still negative people out there. So the positive mindset really is contagious. And how do we start to change our mindset and amplify our happiness? Now, if you've caught previous episodes where I talk about the power of the mind, I'm just going to do a quick review. Your mind is made in the image of the divine. Whatever you focus your mind on amplifies what you're focusing on. Think of the mind like a lighthouse. If it is dark outside and the lighthouse is shining its light across the ocean, looking for ships, whatever it focuses on and whatever it shines its light on, you can see more clearly. Your mind looks at more details about what you're focusing on. Your mind is literally just following where you put your attention and where you put your focus. Now, there is so much more to you than your thoughts and your feelings. There is that part of you that is your soul. This is the part that literally is making the observations of what you are thinking and feeling. I'll say that again. Your spirit is the observer, the witness of what you are thinking and feeling. So it is the captain of the ship. Now, in case you didn't know that, you can choose where you put the focus of your mind. And the more that you practice choosing where you put your focus, the stronger your mind gets. The more you will notice changes in your thoughts and your mood and your happiness level. If you are always focused on what is negative or what is wrong, you're going to be unhappy. That's what happened to me when I was in the depths of my depression. I could only focus on the negative. Focused on my negative self-image. I focused on the negative aspects of my life rather than seeing the positives I had in my life. I had to learn these skills. I had to learn how to take control of my thoughts and choose to think differently. We can do this, and it is possible. It takes practice. It takes training. But you can overcome negative thinking. So when you think of what would you like your life to look like? Now, the most common thing I hear from anyone when I ask them that question is, Maria, I just want to be happy. Wonderful. Wonderful. Many of us think that happiness comes from making everything in our external world just perfect. We have the perfect job or income, the perfect partner, the perfect children, the perfect friend group. And we have this magical idea that we can only be happy sometime in the future when all of these check boxes are marked off. Now, how well has that strategy been working for you so far? For me, when I started to think in this new way, realizing that it was this some distant, forever, never coming near me future, that I could never be happy unless all of these check boxes were happening. When I started to realize when I spoke or listened to different videos and presenters speak about the key to happiness is really choosing to be happy, choosing to focus on what makes you happy. That was mind-blowing to me. Absolutely mind-blowing. Is it really that simple? Where we put our attention, what we choose to focus our mind on, will amplify, and we can create more of those sensations, more of those thoughts, more of those feelings, more of those experiences. Many people that are quite elderly, again, maybe back to Norman Vincent Peale, he spoke about changing the mindset so that happiness is your focus. And look at how he was 92 and still presenting his seminars and workshops. How cool is that? So how do we start to create habits of happiness? Well, I'm going to give you a few tips in this podcast, and I hope these are helpful for you. I know that they have helped me go from that very depressed, negative mindset to moving into where I am today, where I can look at life, no matter how scary it appears on the outside, I can look immediately around me and know that I am in control of my immediate happiness. And I'm not speaking about self-gratification, right? I'm not speaking about, the world is crazy outside. I'm going to gorge myself on foods that are unhealthy. I'm going to drink like a fish for that self-gratification type of happiness. No. I'm talking about true joy in your heart, happiness. Now, if you are on my email list, which you can sign up for through my website at mariagould.com, I did an article today that shares sort of what is going on in the world. There's a wonderful new documentary out called The Agenda Film. And if you go theagendafilm.com, that movie will be out for free. It is definitely, please donate if you did enjoy the movie, because the creators through Oracle Films put that out of pocket to create that amazing, well-researched film. Is there a negative agenda of world control? What is our future, and what do you think about it? It's a great documentary if you're interested. Now, when you watch that documentary, it might be a little bit scary. It might be actually terrifying to realize how the global elites have a plan for humanity, and we aren't really asked our opinion about it very much. This can feel scary. So how do we shift our mindset to still be aware of these things, learn how to sidestep them, stand up to them, but still be happy? Step number 1. Every moment and morning that you wake up, you have 2 choices. That's it. 2 choices. You can choose to look at the good, be happy that you're awake, be happy that you woke up that morning and you're taking a breath and you have another day in front of you. What a blessing. What an absolute blessing. Now, the majority of you are healthy. You have a roof over your head. You are creating the life that you like, that you enjoy. You truly are gifted. So step number 1, out of those 2 choices, you choose to focus on the negative, or you choose to focus on what makes you happy, and you choose to be happy. Everything we think and everything we feel is a choice. Why is it a choice when it feels like our thoughts just happen to us? That these negative thoughts just happen, that these negative feelings happen? Well, in truth, yes, thoughts and feelings are a lot like the ocean waves, and they seem to come crashing in on you. But do you choose to keep dwelling on them, thinking about them, or feeling them? Right? Think of one thought going through your head. Maybe in the morning, I should get up, I'm going to brush my teeth, have a shower. That's a thought, right? Do you think much more about that thought once you have it? No, you kind of just go on automatic pilot. Well, what would happen if you could start to become so trained to be on automatic pilot for happiness? And it just takes practice. So step 1, choose to be happy. And think of what makes you happy. Gratitude. Last week I did a podcast called The Gift of Gratitude. If you haven't heard that because you're not on my email list, please go back to episode 22 and take a listen to The Gift of Gratefulness, of Gratitude. Step number 2 is how to shift negative thinking is step into gratitude. So when you wake up in the morning, thank you, Creator, for this day. Thank you for my breath. Thank you for my bed. Thank you for the warmth in my home. Thank you for the roof over my head. Those are all amazing, amazing things to be happy about. So gratitude is one of the biggest ways to shift our negative thinking. Tip number 3, we all have habitual thoughts. And we daydream, and those thoughts just kind of go on and on and on. When you catch yourself in obsessive negative thinking, just stop for a second and just pull yourself back. You can even say something like stop to yourself. That's super helpful. Cancel. If it's a negative thought, cancel, cancel, cancel. Because your brain is a powerhouse. It is admitting the frequency of those thoughts, of those feelings. So we want to stop where we are, cancel them, and then go into things that you're grateful for. Shift your brain. This is where the practice is. Step number 4, practice, practice, practice. You are learning to rewire your automatic thinking. Now, when you were a tiny baby, growing into a toddler, you were probably innately happy and joyous. Children have that innate joy, that innate happiness and curiosity. If you watch toddlers, they are just so thrilled and excited about life. They want to get up and crawl and pull themselves up and learn to walk and talk and be wherever you are to learn everything about life. Their exuberance and their joy is a wonderful thing to bring back more into your awareness. If a child falls as they're learning to walk, they don't sit and mope and get upset. Yes, they might get frustrated. Absolutely, they might cry a little bit if they hurt themselves, but they innately get back up. Their determination, their drive to live life, to explore, to be excited about being alive is so amazing. Again, if you have the gift of young children around, just enjoy those spectacular moments. My son next weekend graduates from high school, and they really do grow up so fast. So every moment, just be grateful for that stage, where they're at. Yes, raising children can be difficult, but focus on the joys. So remember, your mind is this beautiful powerhouse, and you choose where you keep your mind focused. If you want to create lasting joy and happiness, no matter the state of the world, no matter the globalist plans, focus your mind on what makes you happy, what makes you grateful. Retrain your brain for happiness, for positive thinking. If I can overcome suicidal depression, by changing my mindset, by shifting my life and the way I viewed myself and the world, you can too. Right now, just feel free to close your eyes, unless you're driving. Don't close your eyes if you're driving. But go into your mind, go into your heart space, and think to yourself, do I choose happiness? Do I choose to focus on what makes me happy in my life? Now, there might be some feelings that come up, some ideas like, no, how can I? All of these awful situations. Can I share a secret about life? What I have noticed is the more that I change my mindset and the more that I put that brilliant creator self part of my mind on what is good, what is virtuous, what is positive and happiness, the more I attract that into my life. The more I attract things to be grateful about. The more I attract abundance into my life when I'm grateful for everything I have. That's how we shift our world. That's how we shift our circumstances. It really does start with the power of positive thinking and moving our mind so that the world can follow. Now, if you are having very difficult times, I want you to know I love you and my heart goes out to you. But I also want you to realize you are part of Creator. Your light and your soul is bigger than the entire universe, bigger than the multi-dimensional universe. You have the power to change your life. You have the power to be inspired by your creative self to change your circumstances. But you need to start with focusing your mind on happiness, on positive thinking, on knowing you can change your circumstances, knowing that you have that power. Now remember, negative thinking, the habit of negative thinking is always going to give you every excuse why you cannot do this. Did you catch yourself? Did you notice your mind do that? That's just the habit of negative thinking. My mind used to do that too. It used to, every time I would try and do a positive thought, it would all of a sudden counter with like 3 or 4 negative thoughts. And you get frustrated and you're like, okay. Again, choose again. So then you choose another thought, and again, 3 more negative thoughts will come, and then just keep choosing. And tell your brain, no, stop. When it chooses negative, when it chooses excuses, when it chooses all of the reasons why you can't change, why you're powerless, why you're a victim. You are part of the Creator of life. You're a part of that. You have the power to create your life in a new way. And the energy of the Creator, when you're in a positive frame of mind, when you can move your consciousness out of the stress state that we live in when we're so negative, you start to have inspiration. You start to get excited about things. So remember, you are so much more amazing than you realize. You are part of all that is, part of Creator. That beautiful mind just needs to learn how to focus, be the lighthouse for the positive, for the happiness, for the life you want to create. Choose happiness. If you catch yourself in negative thinking, shift it, cancel it. Think of 3 positive things. If your mind wants to go into the negative, say stop, cancel. Reiterate those positive things. Reiterate what you're grateful for. Shift the mindset. Teach the mind you're the master. You're taking control of your mind, therefore control over your emotions. It is our mind that controls the emotions. One tiny thought can upset your emotions, right? You become the master of your mind. And the last step, number 4, practice. Practice. It takes, whatever age you are. When I started this, I had already had like 20 plus years of negative thinking. It's like a freight train going down a track with a 20-ton cargo load behind it. It has momentum. So it takes practice to slow that freight train down and shift that freight train into another track. And sometimes it feels like you go down one track for a little while and something can set you back. Don't give up. Don't give up. I remember those stages where you try to be so positive, and then one little situation in life, and feels like you just knock yourself right down into that negative spiral again. But you start to realize the more you practice the positivity, you like how it feels better. So you learn, if you keep practicing, you learn that it feels better to be positive. It feels better to be happier. So you start to choose it more. And when you fall off, you get right back up and start over. Choose happiness. Cancel those negative thoughts. Shift into gratitude. Watch positive things. Watch things that are funny, that lift you up, that make you see hope in the world. Right? It's wonderful to be aware of what's happening in the world around us, but we also have to remember to focus on happiness. People that want to control you really don't want you to be happy, do they? So that's the best wrench to put in their plans. So thank you for tuning in today. I hope you found today's podcast helpful. The Power of Positive Thinking. You can always look at the book, The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. Great resource there. But I hope these tips were helpful. Choosing to be happy. Wake up in the morning, choose it. Choose to focus on it. If you forget, choose again. Just come back. Oh yeah, I forgot. Remember, negative thinking is like that freight train. We've got to stop it and start to reverse it. If you're in negative thinking, cancel it. If you catch yourself, cancel it. Stop. Tell your brain, stop. I don't want to think that. And focus on good. Focus on a funny video you watched. Focus on a compliment you got at work. Whatever it is that helps you feel better. Not instant gratification, but truly feeling better in your heart space. practice. Practice changing those negative thoughts into positive thoughts. If you have a negative thought, see if you can say 3 or 4 positive thoughts about yourself. It takes practice. You're going to get better and better. It's like building a muscle. The more that you lift that weight of positive thinking, the stronger and stronger you get, until that frequency, that vibration is your way of being, and it just attracts to you more of that. Remember, if we're focusing on the negative, that attracts more of the negative. So shifting your mindset will shift your life. So blessings for this beautiful Monday. I hope you're enjoying June the 9th. Thank you so much for joining me on today's Mondays with Maria Gould, and we will see you next week.